State of Affairs is pleased to welcome Cecilia Zalkind, who is President and CEO, Advocates for Children of New Jersey. Ceil, you've been with us many times. You love every time you're with us.
I do.
But this is a continuation of a conversation we've been having in connection to an initiative, a public awareness initiative called Right from the Start NJ. You'll see the website that's coming up right as we speak. Go on the website, find out more information. All about helping infants, toddlers, 0 to 3, if you will. Why is it such a pressing issue?
Well, we know so much more now about how babies grow and develop and how important those early years are. That's the time of the greatest brain development. A lot of things that happen in the future, for good and bad, are set in those early years.
Yeah. You just, not too long ago, we're doing this right before the state budget is supposed to be struck, we hope. Last day of June, but last month, was last month or earlier in June? Rolling Thunder.
Strolling Thunder was May 21st.
Isn't it with the motorcycles, the other one?
Yes. No, there's Strolling Thunder, too.
But this is Strolling Thunder. This is the Think Babies national campaign, all part of it, courtesy of our great friends here at NJTV News. This is a clip from a story that I think Andrew Schmertz did the story, a great story from NJTV News. This sets up this walk, this demonstration, this message that's being delivered down in the State House, and we'll come back and talk to Ceil. Here we go.
Based on the theory that bringing cute kids to a political rally is a good way to get attention, a coalition of state child advocacy groups strolled to the Capitol to call on lawmakers to improve child services.
I think New Jersey is ahead of the country in some areas. We have the best preschool program in the country, but it starts at age 3. We have a family leave program, but not a lot of families can access it. So what we feel is we're on a great pathway. We can make it much better.
The event, Strolling Thunder, arranged by the group 0 to 3, is part of a nationwide campaign to highlight issues like childcare, paid family leave, and services for expectant mothers. About 150 of New Jersey's youngest came out with their moms and a few dads during a rather festive rally. Danelle Robinson will soon be a mother of 3.
I'm really advocating for childcare because I'm learning now how much childcare really is. And with 3 children in childcare, that's basically, everything that I kind of make.
The group, Advocates for Children of New Jersey, says the state is woefully underprepared to take care of the 200,000 New Jersey infants. The group says there are only licensed child care centers to handle about 56,000 of the newborns, leaving parents to turn to other expensive daycare options. A survey by Care.com, a company that helps families find child and senior care, says parents spend an average of 20% of their income on child care.
In New Jersey, we need increased funding for early prenatal care. We need support for new parents through home visiting programs. And we need affordable, quality child care.
Steve Adubato here. I want to thank our colleagues at NJTV News for that terrific clip. Cecilia Zalkind, let me ask you. You just heard the Assemblywoman Lopez talking about we need dollars, we need resources to do what?
Well, I think we need to invest in babies to make sure that they have the best opportunity to grow and develop. Our advocacy is we need to start with childcare. So we were thrilled that Assemblywoman Lopez talked about that. Almost 65% of babies have parents in the workforce. There's not enough spaces in licensed centers to take care of them. This is a critical time for brain development. This is a time where children need a nurturing, supportive environment that helps them grow. New Jersey is woefully inadequate on every level in terms of child care for babies.
We were up in Vermont. Cecilia and I were up in Vermont. It was a conference with the folks in Vermont and the folks in New Jersey who are engaged in this conversation around infants and toddlers, 0 to 3, if you will. The Terrell Fund actually sponsored that event. I'm going to ask you something. Vermont is engaged in this. New Jersey is engaged in it. Is the rest of the nation engaged in this conversation, or is it just a couple of states that have funding to do this from private foundations and philanthropic organizations? Help us understand this.
No, I think we're at the beginning of a movement.
Nationally?
Nationally.
By the way, check out our interview with U.S. Senator Cory Booker yesterday. We talked about this topic. He had a lot to say about it. Go ahead.
I do think we're on the beginning of a trend toward looking at babies. Many states like New Jersey have invested in preschool, which is wonderful.
That's the pre-K?
Yes, but it starts at age 3. And I think people are beginning to realize that a lot of learning goes on before age 3. So if you look across the country, you have states taking a look at what's happening to babies. And for babies, the education is childcare. That's where they are outside the family. Some states, like New Jersey, Vermont, were part of the Think Babies National Initiative with 5 other states. We certainly, I think, are ahead of the curve. We have support to take on a campaign. But, you know, we're part of a couple of national networks, and other states are talking about this too.
Let me ask you, we're doing this right before the state budget is in fact supposed to be struck. Are there items in this state budget that impact infants and toddlers?
Not enough. You know, that was one concern that we had. We were thrilled when Governor Murphy announced his budget, a real emphasis on working families and how do we ensure that families can work. But he left out childcare.
Hold on, respectfully, Ceil, you were on that transition committee, the transition team with Governor Murphy. Did they hear your voice?
Yes, and actually we were able to get a recommendation around childcare into the transition report. I was hopeful, especially when the governor had such a focus on working families. You know, it's a tight budget, but we're very hopeful. We have legislative support to add money to the budget, at least to take a first step to improving access to childcare for babies.
By the way, real quick on this, I know we're going to credits. Could you put up our website, excuse me, real quick, and I'll tell you why. Lieutenant Governor Ceil Oliver was on State of Affairs talking about this. You can't do it. It's steveadubato.org. Check it out. We got the Senate President talking about this, the Lieutenant Governor talking about this, State Senator Teresa Ruiz talking about this. As I said, Cory Booker talking about it. We'll continue this conversation, Cecilia. But you're hopeful, right? 15 seconds or less. You're hopeful?
Yes, we're hopeful. And if nothing else, we brought 160 babies to Trenton to remind our state leaders that babies are important.
And that is Strolling Thunder.
Yes,
and you were there with your family. That's all good.
Yes, I was.
Thank you, Ceil. Steve Adubato, this is State of Affairs. Check you out next time.
State of Affairs with Steve Adubato is a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence. State of Affairs with Steve Adubato is brought to you from the Agnes Veris NJTV studio at 2 Gateway. Funding has been provided by the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation, the Turl Fund, supporting Right from the Start NJ, New Jersey Sharing Network, TD Bank, PSC&G, St. Joseph's Health, and by Adler Aphasia Center. Promotional support provided by The Record, North Jersey's trusted source, and NorthJersey.com. And by Meadowlands Regional Chamber, building essential connections that drive business growth.